What's going on, everyone? Welcome back here to another video. The first thing I want you to do for this video is think about you were a kid growing up, all the things you liked, and not caring what anyone thought about what you did, your hobbies, your interests, your actions, what just anything, food you liked, whatever. And now think about your life today. How many things do you not do or not go through with just because you have the fear of getting made fun of or different people in your life, thinking it's weird or whatever the case is, uh, or different hobbies or different pursuits or whatever it is that like, the fear of losing people in your life or being like asked or being considered weird. I was just thinking about this phenomenon of I feel like we hit a point where like we kind of realize like, oh, this is kind of maybe I'm not fitting in, or maybe my friends don't like me for doing this, or whatever the case may be, or even family members, for that, anyone really. And I think the fear of judgment and the fear of like the unknown really is what kind of it really puts a hinder on our not performances, what's the word I'm looking for, a hinder on our development growing up, and even like when you become an adult, such, just for the mere fear of not, and then not knowing and not wanting to fit in, and it's a good thing. I think it truly is a good thing that that happens, because some stuff you do is it is strange and not socially acceptable, and that's just part of growing up. Realize like, hey, I shouldn't do this. Like, hey, this is not good behavior. Whether that be acting up in school or making fun of people or whatever. Like, yeah, like you should be in house. You should be considered whatever it is for doing stuff. But or I don't know, if you freaking come to school or whatever and eat freaking bring dirt in your lunch. I don't know. That's an extreme. That's just, but that's a spot besides the point. I think the point of this video is kind of just letting go of all that and not really caring what other people think, in a sense. And it's tough. It really is tough. And I think, in school, when you're in middle school, high school, you kind of become self aware of like some things that other people might think are strange. Like, say you're into collecting Pokemon, anything like that. I'm not saying that's strange. I'm just saying that's an example. Like, there's a million things everyone thinks everything. But I'm just saying, let's say you become self conscious about because someone made fun of you about it. Not That's not me. No, I think it's card collecting is cool. I don't personally do it, but I respect. Then you quit doing it just for the sake of people making fun of you, so you could fit in with other people, and then you beat yourself up about it for the rest of your life. You really like that when you're younger. I'm on our new server, by the way. Shout out to everyone that's been on here so far. And I guess this is a mini tour. Well, I haven't done just a genuine talking video in a long time. Felt nostalgic, so I figured I'd give it a try. So, kind of getting back to the point is, don't don't really you don't need to let go any thought of judgment from others, or becoming left out of things just for purely liking something. Me, for example, let's take. I always was very self conscious about this game, like literally freaking Minecraft. I was always like, oh, this is I always felt weird for playing it 20s because I just always felt like it was for the kids, and I always felt weird playing it, like, oh, I'm not mature or whatever. And that was just a ridiculous thought. Like, I enjoy this game. It's a game anybody can. And there is stuff that's like that. Like that, it's a good example. Like if I'm, but again, I guess if you really like it, whatever. But there is stuff in it. It is kind of so like let's say I was like growing up I was when you're 3-4 years old you're watching freaking Blue's Clues or Elmo or something like that. Let's say I'm like in my 20s now and I'm still watching that crap. That would be weird. That's just my opinion. If you do that, whatever. But I'm not even gonna lie. I think that'd be kind of strange. But um, anyways, there's just stuff that you got to do for yourself. And what I really wanted to bring home in this video is don't judgment from others is just a mirror for themselves of something they're insecure about. If someone judges you for liking a certain hobby or doing something, that's just them saying, hey, there's something in my life that I like, but I'm too afraid to do it. That's all that says. And I think it's something you have to really strike home yourself, um, and just get over it because I honest to God think that's the truth. There is, not to go too religious here, but there is something in the Bible that kind of speaks on. I forget the exact verse, but something similar. But just a reflection of people's reflections of themselves, kind of going at that sort of thing, and kind of something you'll run into as you get older if you're a social person. Is when you get out of high school, or even in high school, even in college, and you start going out with your friends and your buddies. You go to bars or whatever. You start drinking, kind of getting into it. If that is, that's not everyone, but I think you get to a point where I realize it's like, don't get me wrong. I like to go out and still have a few drinks from time, but you kind of get to a point where it's kind of take a step back, do that kind of stuff. Same with, which I'll be in my next point. You'll lose friends just for doing you did stuff together, and you grow up, and sadly some people don't grow up and still do things like go out and party and do all that stuff, and you'll lose friends. And that was something I definitely struggled with. I had a lot of good friends. They were good people, like whatever the case is. Like that's just what they chose to do. They kept to chose to keep living that lifestyle, going out and partying all the time. And I was not a partier by any, definitely. It's kind of talking like I was an alcoholic. Just the standard of going out and drinking, doing that stuff. But kind of get to a point where like, wow, this is kind of stupid. Do this as frequently as it was. Like, I was the standard go out, you didn't have anything to do Friday, another Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, go out and drink and stuff. And that, but kind of got to a point where I was like, this is just saying it. I can't do it anymore. It's not healthy, number one, and number two, it's just you suffer with hangover stuff. And it scared me. Like, I was like, I'm gonna lose a lot of friends not doing this, because a lot of our friends were just purely from drinking and going out and bars and doing all that stuff, and parties and stuff. And it was kind of scary because I was like, I like being around these people, and that's just part of life. You're gonna have to do things that are in your best interest, and not really live with the repercussions of people coming out of your lives for picking to do something. Another example would be like going like if you're, overweight or unhealthy in your eyes, like trying to lose weight or whatever, go to the gym. Let's say you hang out with friends and you're used to going out to eat, doing all that stuff. And if you have good friends, like they'll totally understand. Like, hey, I'm eating healthy. I'm not going to go out to eat as much and hang out and do that kind of stuff or whatever. If you have good friends, totally understand. But sometimes other friends will judge you so bad and be like, oh, yeah, no, you think you're better than everybody else for wanting to do that. And, you know, whatever, get jealous because you made a decision to, change your life or move it in a different direction. And again, it goes back to the point I was making a little bit ago about it's just a mirror of themselves. Holy crap, whoever's house this is, not good. Take that up. But any judgment of any kind of thing is just a reflection, and it sucks. Like we all have that thing of like, oh, like people are gonna judge me for whatever I do, and it's honestly true. You think in your life, and, judgment's not a bad thing. Like it just is kind of yourself saying like, hey, I wouldn't do that, and that person's. Um, some people do stuff that's not good, and you should judge. And you're like, good thing I don't do that. I'm glad I don't do that. But we judge every day. Everyone judges everyone every single day. But it's really has nothing to do with that person. It's more of in your mind what it's either from a good perspective or a bad. Like judgment can come from envy or jealousy. Like if you judge someone for a hobby they like, maybe that's just you in your mind. You're just jealous that you don't have the courage to do your hobby for the fear of whatever. And yeah, that's just something you gotta realize that it's whenever people think you're getting judged, it's just them looking at themselves. And going back to what I said a minute ago, it's not a bad thing. Judgment is good. You should use it as a tool to better yourself. Once it gets to the point where you're judging just to make fun of someone or do so, that's when you need to reevaluate your thought process. But that's pretty much what I wanted to speak on today. That was just something I was thinking about today because there's a lot of people that suffer with that fear of judgment, including myself. Not as bad as I used to. Like I used to suffer with that bad. Like things I would do, I'd be like, oh, I'm made fun of or this or that, and I just kind of realized like that's someone else's. That's another problem if they think it's weird or whatever. Like it's just nothing to do with me. But anyways, hopefully you guys found something of that if you're struggling with it. Big takeaway is just realizing that skeleton. Just realizing that it's just a mirror, someone's mirror of themselves. Crap. I'm gonna die. Keep saying we're gonna sleep through the night, but we must be trying to sleep. It's not working. Get back to my base and then I'll go to sleep. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this old school kind of video. I know I haven't done a good talk in a while. Kind of beating I think it kind of related to the video though. I was like beating myself up out. I was like, was so proud of the good. I feel like my first like 100 videos was like really good talking videos, and I kind of got away from that just because I was getting more views doing like other Minecraft, which is fine. But I really enjoy these, and if I get views for doing these kind of talking videos, and so be it. I don't really care. I like them a lot better. That was kind of the reason I made this channel. That's it. I'm gonna end it there. Join Discord. Got a really good group of people in there. Link in the description. And see you guys all in the next one. God bless you guys.